Hi everyone and welcome to Darlene's Creative Studio. Today is day 16 of our Creative Journal Prompt Challenge. We're going to be working with an old negative frame. So we're going to be working with some of these old frames for the old negatives. Let's get our little book page out of there the way here. And we're going to go ahead and glue this in really quickly. Get him out of the way. And oh my goodness, this is crammed. I should always clean this out before I start. I can never get it to go right away. There we go. It's got a lid there. Had a little dry spot in there and it just oozed out all over the card here. So I'm just gonna make sure that it doesn't stick in there. Okay, let's add this one in here. And we are going to be working with scrap papers, film negative, so, and some lined paper and eyelets. January 16th, 2020. All right, let's get that little guy out of the way. And that out of the way. And I've got goop all over my finger here. All right. So I was playing around with trying to figure out what I wanted to use. And I started with one. Actually, I did two of them. And what I used for these was the sticker paper that I got in your Creative Studio package this month. I just actually peeled these off and stuck them right to the front of the film negative, the red side. And I'm going to show you, that's with the sticker, but I'm going to show you, I have all these little bits and pieces of scrap cardstock. And I'm just going to grab, let's say that one. And then maybe something like, yeah, let's try that one because it kind of goes with that label. So what I'm going to do is just take my film negative and I'm going to use, let's try Fabri-Tac, excuse me, hiccup. And these are matte, they're not too shiny, so they should be fine for sticking, but I'm just going to try it with the Fabri-Tac. I did use the art glitter glue, or no, I didn't use anything because it was a sticker, wasn't it? Okay, so let's try the Fabri-Tac. And I'm just going to stick this little guy on the front of here, like that. And you can either use your scissors and just cut around the edges, or you can use a sharp knife and your little cutting mat and just cut right along those edges. Like that. Where'd that piece go? And I'll turn it one more time and we'll just cut that little piece off. Right there. Okay, so we've got that piece out of the way. So there is one. Now all I do is take my knife and run it along the inside of the frame. Oh, that wasn't very straight, Darlene. There we go. And they do have little rounded edges, so I am trying to go around the edge as well, around that corner. Let's see how I did. Oh, not bad at all. So we cut that little piece out. I'm just going to cut this little piece inside here out. There we go. Okay. So there very quickly is using just some scrap, what happened there? Some scrap paper. And there's my film negative. Now, one option is to So there's the other one I used, that's the sticker paper. One option is to just take a piece of lined paper and glue that right onto the back. But I am going to put some pictures inside these, and I didn't bring a lot of photos with me, but I brought along these covers of the old magazines. That was from a book. And I'm thinking if I slide one of those up into the inside, let's see, like maybe this guy. See how I can just get those little pictures of the kids in there? So let's use that one. Let's cut off the Easter part. Okay. See if I can get that to go inside where I want it. If not, I can trim it up a little bit. Okay, so there is something that I want to have on the inside. And I'm just going to use my art glitter glue, and I'm going to glue around the edges of this just to tack it in place to where we want it. Let's make sure we get it nice and even and where we want the picture to be. Okay, so we've got the picture where we want it to be. And then I'm going to glue this closed, and I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac because I really want it to seal it closed. And I'm going to put it on the actual slide part, the frame part. Okay, so that's glued like that. And then this is where, because I don't want that picture showing through the back, I'm going to just take a piece of journaling card and I'm going to place that on there and glue that to the back. Actually, let's do this first. I don't want to distress the edges until I cut it, right? So let's get right to the edges. Let's add our little card. I'm going to make sure we're upside right here. Okay, light on that. And again, we're just going to set that down. I'm going to take my sharp edge of my knife and push it right up against the negative and cut that and that. So there, we cut that piece off. Okay, so there is one, and it's got the little book page on the back, and we can distress the edges. Let me just get some more ink on my thingy here. Now for this particular one, I think I'm going to, and I don't know if I can do this. This is a leather punch, and it has the little blade. It's interchangeable, so you can put whatever size blade, and I do believe it comes with 5 different size holes. This is the largest. And what I want to do is actually punch a hole right in the corner, and when you push down on this, it rotates and actually cuts down into the paper. And again, this is for punching leather, and I just love this because I can use this without my crocodile, bringing my crocodile with me. And then I just use my little punch to pop out some more of that. All right, I'm gonna do it again. There we go, keep going. Let's see how much we've cut out of there. Pop that out. Oh, and I think we're almost through. So let's do one more. You can see it on that side. See if I can pop it through on this side. There we go. There. So I made a little hole. Now this was a little bit thicker because it was the film negative, but with this guy you can just keep punching and it'll eventually go through like that. And what I'm thinking of doing is taking one of my eyelets. I don't know if this is large enough or not. We'll see. Might have to use my larger one or punch that again just to make the hole big enough. There we go. Let's try that. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put an eyelet in there. So it's all glued closed and it has my little lined paper on the back. Now I'm going to take this outside, so I'll do this a little bit later. And I'm going to put my awl in there, and I'm just going to take my hammer and give it a little hammer. Now I can't do it on this because it's too, with the foam pad and everything, and I'm on a table. I don't want to wreck the table. So I'll take that outside and I will squish that eyelet. So there is one option. I'm making it a little hangy dangly. So I'll set that aside and I will hammer that and show you the results. The other one was this one that we used, the scrapbooking paper. And I was going to take this scrap piece of paper, and I have my, let me just move some of this stuff out of the way here. I have my We Are Memory Keepers board here. This is the multi-tool, and on the back it has this little extension that you can, out of the way, knife. You can bring it up and it says tag right here, and then there's a word tag there. So you want to insert these little bumps into the grooves, and then you lift up your cutter, and I'm going to cut this little corner off. So let's say maybe let's try that one. Yeah, I like that cut. So I had it at the 1/8 line. So when I flip this over, I want to be on that 1/8 line again, going right across, and then cut again. And that gives me my tag size. So let's just move this guy out of the way. And then we're going to take our little hole punch. Now this hole punch is fairly small, but we're still going to use it. And I'm going to eyeball it and punch it right about there. And then what we're going to do is use that photo frame, and we're going to put a photo in there. And let's see what we can use. I have all these different little Americana. So there's this lady. We can put her face in there. I've got the Saturday Evening Post, which is kind of purpley background like that one. What about this guy? Oh, I like that one with the moon. There you go. That's what I'm going to use. So I have to trim this up a little bit. Scissors. And I'm just going to cut a little bit off the top. And because this is paper is put on this way, we're going to set it in this way. So I want it to show up, and I'll make sure that the moon is in there and her. All right, so we kind of know we have to go around the paper. And that is really crooked cut, Darlene. There we go. So we're just going to go around the outside of the paper to tack it on. To tack it in place. And again, I'm going this way. So we want to make sure we have it where we want it. There. There's a man in the picture, but I want the moon more than the man, more than the man's head. So it doesn't matter if it's crooked on the inside. It just has to matter whether it's straight when you're looking at it like that. And let's use the Fabri-Tac to seal it closed. And again, I'm going to put the glue. These films are made, and this is actually glue. So what they do is they heat them up. They put them through a heating process, and it wets the glue and seals it closed. I have about 20 to 30 of them that did not seal properly. So I was able to open up the film or the negative and take the frame and take the negative out of it without damaging the frame. Okay, so there we go. We've got that little guy sealed. And then again, I'm not going to worry about the back because I'm actually going to attach this one to this card. And now you can add some background. We'll get out our stickers here. And you can add something to the background there. Like, ooh, what about that one? one's too light. Maybe that one? No, we want something darker, don't we? Like maybe that. Yeah, that's a nice dark piece. Go me. They're very staticky. Okay, so we're going to put this little piece right here, kind of coming up out of the frame. So there, when I put that one on there, that's nice. And that's too brown. What else do we have here? This guy is actually, it's not as sticky. It looks like he's coming apart. We could move that up and put that one there. Or put it along here. Nope. Anyway, you just kind of play with it and see if you can find something that you like that would look, I'm going to cut this one in half. Because I like that darker brown. Like that, and then we can go ahead and glue that guy on there. And if you want, we could even add a little piece of book page there. Let's see, let's move these guys out of the way. So we could add a couple of lines. So let's say, if we glue that there, let's go to that one there. And I am terrible at cutting straight lines. I don't know why. So we could almost add a little book page there. So let's just dress that. You can add that there, or you can add one of those little frame things there. Let's see if I've got one here. You can add something like that, that tag, and that there. That's a little too brown. I think I'm just going to stick with the little book page, and we're going to glue that right there. And we could almost put something, what's on the back of this? Okay, so pretty, what about adding that there? So let's try that. Okay, we want it to be upright, so let's put it here. Right about there. And then we're just going to cut around this one, really thin little border. See if I can cut straight. Like that. And then we can add that on there, and then it's not quite so stark sticking out there. That. So let's add that there, and then she's going to go down in this corner here. Oops, get it over even. So we can add that there, and then let's add, and I'm going to try this with Fabri-Tac glue just because it's, I'm not sure about how sticky this will be. Okay, and then we'll add this little lady right here. So there. You've got a little tag with the picture frame right on it, and then if you want to, on the back of this, you can add, upside down, you can add some more of that lined paper if you like. And I do have this one. Will that one fit on there? Well, that one's pretty close. I'm just going to trim this down a tiny bit here. even better. I like that way. There. So let's add that on there. Let's just distress that one edge where we cut it off a bit. And then we can add that onto the back and still have some place to write if you want to write on the back of this tag. Like that. And again, we can add a piece of that little fabric there. Let's try, this is a little scrap piece of the muslin. Just going to trim that end off a bit. There we go. And all you have to do is fold it in half and fold it in half widthwise so that you can pop it through the hole. And then you create a loop on the back. You open up that loop. Stick your little ends through there and give it a little pull. There we go. And you've created a nice little tag with some little ends. There's a writing space here. I really liked this tag, so I wanted to leave that showing. You've got this writing spot. You've got your frame from your film negative, and you've got some writing space on the back. So there's one tag we've made. And then we've got this little guy, and I say I will go and punch that little eyelet. Let's make a couple more like this. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way here. This is all our scraps. Don't want to lose my stickers. So again, you can just right here. Let's put the lid on this before it hardens again. And my Fabri-Tac. So let's use another film negative, and let's use up this last piece here. So again, I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to put some glue on the front of this. And I guess it doesn't really matter which way it goes up once it's created, but I want to keep that fairly straight. So we'll glue that guy on there. We'll let him dry for just a second. Set him aside. And let's grab one more piece of paper. Well, let's try this one. I really like these. These are some scraps that I had. Now this is a really nice framing. See if I can get two out of this one. I really like the vintage wallpaper look. So again, we're just going to glue the front. And I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to get it as close to the edge as possible so I can get more than one on this one. All right, let's see if I can get one more. Very sticky. I can get one more on here for sure. And this is a pattern on the other side, so it's not too bad if it's not perfectly straight. Will I get one more up there? Well, let's see. I'm just going to pull this up so I can see. Oh my goodness, look at that. Let's get one more out of this. And these are scraps when I'm creating journals. I have all these scraps left over, so I try to save them and reuse them again. So there we go. Let's put that guy in there. Perfect. Okay, put the lid back on our glue. I'm just going to move these guys out of the way. And there's our... So these are all just scraps that I keep in a little tray. I have a tray here, and I just throw all my scraps in there. and they sit on a little shelf behind me. Okay, so let's cut. Actually, this was one with I used the sticker, so this is a sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this guy out, and again, you just slide your knife along the edge, and you want to kind of pull it around that corner just a little bit. Right up to the edge. And one more. And slide it down. And that comes out, and look, I've got myself a little sticker here that I can add to something. Where did I just put that tag I made? Here it is. Maybe we can add this up here somewhere. At the bottom. No, I'll save that for another thing. So I do have the sticker paper still here, and I just will put that back on my sticker paper and use that for something else. So let's leave that on there. Okay, so there's that cut out, and it opens up. So there's one. Again, it already has a straight edge, so you just want to cut along that straight edge. And if you find that it starts to pull or your paper starts to tear, change your blade. These little ones are nice because you can flip your blade over and use the other end of the blade because it's got a point on the other side. So there's some scrap. We'll toss that over to the side. And then we're going to cut the inside out. Again, around that little corner. Try and keep as close to the edge as possible when pulling, and don't go too fast. I'm going fast. I should slow down because I'm going to end up cutting it crooked. There you go. And then we have another little scrap that can go in the bin. I don't think I got right to the edge on that one. Yep, I did. Okay. And these are our others. And we started with this guy, so I'm going to turn it this way and cut along here. A little bit. There's that one. There's that one. Okay, so we have that one. And any pieces that are half decent size, I just throw in my scrap bin. They're great for using for collage pieces. Let go. There we go. See, now this piece has a really neat, that's really cool inside, so I'll save that little piece as well. Cut that one off. There. And now let's do the inside. And the second that I feel that blade pulling on that paper and tearing it, I want to make sure I go and change my blade. And you'll be able to tell. You can certainly feel it pull and tear. So I'm going to save that little piece. So there's another one. Yeah, I really like that, the look of that vintage wallpaper-y look. So I'm going to go a little slower because I can feel it starting to, I've been using this probably for 2 weeks now. And I've been cutting a lot of things out with it, so. There we go, and we'll keep that little piece. Oh, I didn't get that corner. That's fine. And one more. There we go. We'll keep that little piece. So there's a couple more cut. And let's decide what can go on the insides of these. We've got a few more pictures here. This one's rather pretty. Let's try this one. So we've got a little lady sitting in a hammock. It's got some red in there. It's actually not too bad. I like that one. We've also got this lady. So she's got to go, I'll frame it first and then we'll make sure it's upside right. But I like that one with the little red umbrella. We've got, oh, this one's lovely. We've got our little lady here having a cup of tea. Oh, this guy's cute. This guy's peeking around the window frame. We'll put him in here. And again, cut it down to fit properly, but he's kind of cute. And then this one has a Christmas one on the back, but I really like the little baby. And I was thinking maybe framing that little baby's face. Isn't she adorable? She might go better in this one. Let's see, with the colors and stuff in it. Maybe a little too busy, I'm not sure. Let's try this one. I don't want to take away from her face because she's so cute. That one's probably better. Although she is adorable. And then we also have these. Let's try this one. We have a Victorian one. It's kind of nice. We have this one. We could put it so that magazine 1908 shows. So there's quite a few different ideas that you can use. You just got to play and decide which ones you want where. I really like the lady with the umbrella. I think she's going to go in this one though. She's going to go in that one. And then maybe these little kitties can go in this one. Too colorful. That one's more simple. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and trim these down and fit them in. Move this guy out of the way. And glue them closed. And then I will add some more of this paper to the backs of them because we're going to be creating more of these. I will punch the holes and I will go outside and hammer all my eyelets in. And then we'll come back and we'll see them all completed. Okay, so I'll be right back. So we're back and I have put the eyelets in all of the little tiny film negative frames and the book page on the back. So there's the 5 that we've done plus our tag where we've added that on top. And then this one, I was going to add a book page and then I thought I have kept all of the little pieces off the vellum stickers, the little pieces of acetate that are on the back of the stickers, and some of them are square. So I've taken one of the square ones and I have just cut a small piece that will go on the inside of the frame. I've cut this off and I've tacked that in with some Fabri-Tac. And then I think I'm just going to take one of my vellum stickers. I'm not going to peel it. I'm just going to leave it as is. But this one has a little flower bouquet and a little tiny bunny there. I don't know if you can see him very well, but I think I'm going to set that one inside this one. And see, there's a little tiny bunny there. So I'm going to tack that one in. Again, just a light tacking on one edge just to hold it in place. We want the little bunny to show, and we want some of the flowers to show. There. And then I'm going to add my Fabri-Tac to seal it closed. And I'm going to make sure I get right up against those edges of that frame so it'll catch the little sticker. Now you can peel it, but it already has the plastic on the back, so you don't really need to peel it off. And then we're just going to close that one up like that. And then that one actually has one of the little stickers in there. Now you can do the same thing. You can put this little piece of plastic in there as like a window frame if you want to use a photo in there and protect it. I'm not too worried about these. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now you can just leave it that way so you can see it through both. Or you can add the piece of paper onto the back of it as well if you like. If you want to have that paper on the back as well. And I think I'm just going to add the paper just because I like having something on the back there. So I'll just cut this one down to size. And then there's this little piece of flour left over. You could always cut a little flour out and stick that on the front, but that's an extra piece of the, let's use the Fabri-Tac. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some glue to the back of this one. You want to make sure you get right to those corners. And I'm going to just use this as my reference to keep it somewhat straight. And glue that on there. Get my little sharp knife and just cut away at the edges. Like that. And one more. And let's cut this little one off here. And there we go. We've got that one with some paper on the back. And I've used one of the little stickers on the inside, and it does have that little piece of plastic there to protect it. And there is another way of doing that. And then I just take my hole punch, and it's probably going to take a couple of punches to get through this because it is so thick. Just going to move it to a flatter surface here. Just give me a second. See if I can get through that last little. Oh, I loosened my lid too much. There we go. Let me just pump that out with my little thingy there. There. And then we just take our eyelet and we're going to punch that into the hole, and I will take it outside and give it a good whack with our thing and our hanger, and that is done. So that's what they will look like. I will add a little bulb pin to these. I did bring a couple, I think. We'll add a little pin to these. You can add a little button hanging off that as well. And you can have those hanging from something on your journal. So that is it for day 16. I have to remember what day I'm on. It's been a little crazy here. It's been foggy weather, and my husband finally went out golfing today, so I have the condo to myself, so it's nice and quiet. So I was able to get this video done without any noise in the background. Oh, that one I haven't punched yet, so I won't put that on there yet. I have to punch him. So that's it for day 16, and using our old film negatives and creating tags of different sizes. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you tomorrow.